Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the channel. Happy Wednesday, everybody. Hope your day and your week have been going very well so far. We've got a new day, which of course means a new NBA player prop video to share with you guys. But first, as always, people, please make sure to go ahead and hit the subscribe button, hit that like button, and drop a comment down below. It helps the channel grow, and it really does mean a ton to us. When the new day comes some new opportunities to go ahead and make some money. I have 4 NBA player props to go ahead and share with you guys in tonight's NBA slate. But first, before we dive into today's picks, a quick little recap of how we did last night. And overall, guys, we had a really solid performance last night. Now, I originally handed out 5 player props. Evan Mobley ended up not playing, so that player prop gets scratched. But we did have 3 out of 4 player props cash that were available. The only one we missed, and I should have listened to you guys, he's officially being put on no bet island. Tyrese Halliburton over 13.5 rebounds plus assists. This is almost every time I bet Halliburton, this is what happens. He missed it by 1. He finished with 13 rebounds plus assists, but he literally hadn't gone under like 8 assists in each of the last 7 matchups versus the Cavs. He only had 4 assists last night. Halliburton, it's always a punch in the nuts, or a kick in the nuts, I should say, every time you bet him, because he's always right there, but you always miss it by 1, which I know a couple people talked about in the comments. So he's on the no bet island now. I'm done getting hurt. The definition of insanity is doing something again and again, expecting a different result each time. So I'm done betting Halliburton, but we did cash our other 3 bets. So a really solid performance overall last night. Solid performance last night. Let's see if we can't go ahead and do it again in today's NBA slate. 4 player props coming your way right now. All right, guys, jumping right into the outlier screen. Our first player prop in today's slate comes from Celtics-Knicks Game 2, 7 p.m. tip-off. We've got Jason Tatum of the Boston Celtics over 42.5 points plus rebounds plus assists. We're getting that one from minus 115 over on BetMGM. It is available on multiple sports books for varying odds. Boston obviously coming off an embarrassing Game 1 collapse at home. Really abysmal performance from them. I think we get a little bit of a bounce back performance here in Game 2, though. Now, the overall data here for Jason Tatum isn't great. In the last 10 games, 5 of his last 10, he's cashed the over, averaging 41.8. PRAs per game over his last 10 games. Now, the more narrow view, he's cashed in 4 consecutive games, so each of the final 3 games of that Orlando series and Game 1 of the Knicks series thus far, he cashed the over. So the most recent data is not terrible, but the further you go ahead and stretch this out, the worse it kind of gets. The overall numbers stay 45% hit rate on the year for Jason Tatum, 35 out of 77 games, including playoffs, he's cashed this over, averaging 41.84 PRAs per game overall this year. Now, granted, the line is definitely elevated, that being because it's the playoffs, more intensity, more minutes played, all of those things. But beside the most recent data, and again, I'll show you the last 5 games, again, 80% hit rate, he's cashed in 4 straight. He's averaging 47.2 PRAs over his last 5 games. Besides that data being pretty solid, the head-to-head data is actually very strong here for Jason Tatum and a pretty large sample size as well. Dating back to last year, including playoffs, he's played them 10 times. He's cashed the over in 7 out of 10 games against the Knicks, averaging 42.7 PRAs per game across the last 10 matchups with the New York Knicks. He's played them 5 times this year, including playoffs, and has a 100% hit rate against the Knicks this year. So every time this season that he's played the New York Knicks, he's cashed the over. So that's something to really take into consideration here. Defensively, the Knicks are obviously a very solid team, especially looking down low versus power forwards. Top 10 in all 3 categories. But I think Tatum, and again, the track record proves that, the head-to-head data proves that, he can overcome that. I don't think he played all that great. He did cash the over in Game 1. He had 16 rebounds, but I don't think he played all that well. Just 23 points. Really rough shooting night for all the Celtics. But obviously, kind of similar to what happened with Cleveland in Game 2. Now, Cleveland blew it, partially because of all the injuries, but this is really important. You cannot go to Madison Square Garden down 0-2 to the Knicks. You just can't. Game 1 was rough, but it's fine. You got to win tonight, though, and I think in a must-win situation, this is where you expect Tatum to carry the lead for this team, and I think he will do it. I think the Celtics do bounce back and win tonight. I think Tatum has a really big game. So that's our first player prop in today's slate. Our second player prop in today's slate, sticking with the same Celtics-Knicks game, we're going Mikal Bridges of the New York Knicks over 3.5 rebounds. We're getting this for -128 over on FanDuel. It is available for multiple sports books for varying odds. Again, kind of similar to the last player prop. The recent data and the head-to-head data, pretty solid. The overall numbers, though, not great. Mikal Bridges has cashed the over in 6 of his last 10 games, including 6 consecutive games, averaging 4 rebounds per game over his last 10. And if we narrow it to the last 5 games, all 5, of course, being playoff games, and including Game 1 versus Boston, a 100% hit rate over his last 5 games, averaging 5.8 rebounds per game over his last 5 games. But like I mentioned earlier, you go ahead and you stretch the data out to the entire season view, just a 39% hit rate on the year, 35 out of 89 games. He's cashed the over, averaging 3.31 rebounds per game this year. So the overall data is not fantastic. But going back to the green side of things, the head-to-head data, pretty solid. 5 of his last 9 matchups against the Boston Celtics, Mikal Bridges has cashed the over as a 56% hit rate, averaging 3.33 rebounds per game against the Boston Celtics across their last 9 matchups. Now, they played 5 times so far this year, including playoffs, and Mikal Bridges has cashed the over in 2 of those 5. But maybe more importantly, each of the last 2, he's cashed the over. Now, Game 1, he had 6 rebounds in that game. Pretty solid cash there. Of course, Boston missed notoriously 45 three-pointers in that game. I don't think Boston misses 45 threes again. There were 17 rebound chances for Mikal Bridges in that game, which is absolutely absurd. That being said, I don't think the opportunities will be as plentiful as they were in Game 1, but I do think Boston, they're a team that chucks a lot of threes. And look, even if you're shooting a solid number from 3, with the amount of volume Boston has, there's going to be a lot of missed shots, a lot of long rebound opportunities for Mikal Bridges here. And Boston, they're not a great, they're a solid rebounding team. I wouldn't call them a great rebounding team, 12th overall in terms of rebounds allowed. Again, Mikal Bridges is not going to get that many opportunities like he did in Game 1, 17 rebound chances, but he left a lot of opportunities on the floor. He only had 6 rebounds. I think for him to get 4, which he also did the previous time in the regular season they played, I think him getting 4 rebounds is a pretty fair bet for a Boston team that chucks up a lot of shots. Very good chance that he can grab 4 rebounds in this one. All right, guys, our third player prop in today's slate. We're now moving on to Nuggets Thunder Game 2, 9:30 p.m. tip-off. I'm going with Jokic over 40.5 points plus rebounds, -136 odds over on FanDuel. Might be viewed as somewhat of a square line. Obviously, we know Game 1 versus the Thunder, and Jokic went off 42 points and 22 rebounds. It was honestly, to me, a shocking Game 1 upset by the Denver Nuggets. I do think this series, and honestly this entire playoff run, is Jokic or fail for Denver, so they need Jokic to keep having performances like he did in Game 1, especially to overcome the juggernaut that is the Oklahoma City Thunder. It's a square bet because obviously he had 64 points plus rebounds in Game 1. You see the line right now, 40.5, and you're thinking he'll easily cash that. The recent data seems to suggest he doesn't do it all that often. 3 of his last 10 games, he's cashed the over, averaging just 38 points plus rebounds per game over his last 10. Now, that being said, if you do go ahead and stretch out the entire season view, a 54% hit rate on the year. So he actually did cash this the majority of the time this year. 42 out of 78 games, including playoffs, he cashed the over, averaging 42 points plus rebounds per game this year. And the head-to-head department, it's fine. Nothing crazy. 4 of his last 8 matchups with the Oklahoma City Thunder, he's cashed the over. It's a 50% hit rate, averaging 40.75 points plus rebounds per game. However, 3 of his last 4 against Oklahoma City, he's cashed the over, and the one miss in between those 4 was a narrow miss, 24 points and 13 rebounds on March 9th. So some pretty solid performances of late against the Oklahoma City Thunder, 3 out of 5 overall this year. Honestly, after watching Game 1, I'm going to bet this because I just want to see OKC stop him. Show me that you can slow him down a little bit, and I'll go ahead and think otherwise. But I think Chet Holmgren really outmatched, Isaiah Hartenstein really outmatched. Obviously, Jokic is, I don't think there's a single player in the league who can defend Jokic. But it's all about, can you slow him down a little bit? The Thunder proved in Game 1 they really couldn't. I'm going to keep going back to that because who else is Denver going to really utilize here? Jokic is primary option number 1. And honestly, yes, there's a lot of other good options on this Nuggets team, but Jokic is far away the best option. He could have did a lot more too. He had 31 rebound chances in Game 1, finished with 22. Right? Look at the shot attempts. 29 shot attempts. Now, he shot 52% from the floor, which is very solid, but he had 29 shots, made 15. He could have done even more. So he had a great game. We don't need him to get 64 points plus rebounds. 42. You can literally cross off 22 points plus rebounds. You could take all of his rebounds off from Game 1, just do the points. He still cashes the over. So he doesn't have to have as big of a game, but seeing what he did in Game 1, I would be shocked if he doesn't come anywhere close to this line in this game. So I love this spot here for Jokic. -136, pretty good value too. All right, guys, we have 1 pick left in today's video, but before we dive into that final pick, I want to say thank you, everybody, for watching today's video and sticking around this far into it. As always, guys, we appreciate all the effort you guys put into watching our videos, put a lot of hard work in, so we appreciate those who watch all the way through. And as I'm taking a little break here from recording, as I'm kind of going through, I just see that the Cowboys just traded for George Pickens. All right. Not a bad deal for the Cowboys fans out there. Let me know how you're feeling. Comment Cowboys down below if you're watching the video at this point. I happened to just go over my phone and saw the Cowboys made a trade. Honestly, don't hate it. I actually don't hate it at all. So you had to do something. That's definitely something. So comment Cowboys down below if you are still watching the video at this point. CeeDee Lamb and George Pickens is a pretty good 1-2 punch. Let's see if let's see how Dak messes this up and the Cowboys mess this up this year. Sorry to all the Cowboys fans out there. All right, final player prop in today's slate. We've got SGA of the Thunder over 39.5 points plus assists, -130 odds over on FanDuel. I'm going to level with you guys. The data is not good anywhere in this one. I just betting this off of watching how game one turned out. I think this is a very good player prop to tail again. He did cash this in game one. He had 33 points and 8 assists in that game one loss. But the recent data, just 3 of his last 10, he's cashed the over. Overall this year, it's a 43% hit rate on the over, 35 out of 82 games he's cashed it, averaging 38.65 points plus assists per game. And even in the head-to-head department, just 3 of his last 9 matchups with Denver, he's cashed the over, averaging 35.22 points plus assists per game over their last 9 matchups. So like I said, not really a lot of positive data here. What I'm banking on and why I like this player prop is A, the defensive matchup. Denver, they are a bottom 10 defensive team in the NBA this year versus point guards, 14th in points allowed, 26th in assists allowed. So it's a really solid defensive matchup. It's SGA, who's probably going to win MVP this year. If not MVP, he's the second best player in the league this year. But the key thing to note is the way that Denver was playing defensively on him in game one. They were really crashing in on SGA. Now, granted, as strongly as hard as defensively they planned for SGA in game one, throwing multiple bodies, trying to leave other guys open, and basically daring SGA to pass the ball. He still scored 33 points in game one, so it's not like it really worked all that well. He still had a great scoring night. He obviously played almost 40 minutes. That's going to be pretty consistent in this series. Obviously, playoff time, you know you're going to rely on SGA a lot. But the big thing was the potential. He had 21 potential assists in game one, and he only finished with 8 assists. So there was a lot of assists he left on the table there. I think that number, the last time they played on March 10th, he had 19 potential assists. I think Denver's strategy is very, very clear and obvious. They want SGA to pass the ball and defer to his teammates. OKC, they were the best team in the regular season. They have good players all across the floor. Him passing the ball in game one didn't work out that well, but I do think all these potential assists should register more assists. And obviously from a shot-making standpoint, he didn't even shoot the ball all that well, but 12 for 26. If he's going to shoot that many shots, if he's going to take almost 25 shots in these games, he's going to score a lot of points. So I just think the Thunder, obviously, they rely on him so incredibly much. Yes, they have other great players on the court, but it's clearly SGA is far and away the best player on this team. The shot volume is there. He's going to play a lot of minutes, and the potential assists are there. He cashed this over in game one, but let's be honest, he should have had way more production than what he had. And that's my ultimate reason for why I like this player prop, is the fact that he should have did way more. He had the cash. He cashed this line in game one with 33 points and 8 assists, but he shot 12 for 26, less than 45% from the floor, and he had 13 potential assists that did not turn into real assists. So more shots made, more assists handed out. There was way more opportunity for SGA to do even more. So I do like this player prop a lot. And for -130 odds, again, kind of a lot of similar circumstances here. These higher seeds at home have kind of lost a lot of these games, which has been shocking. Actually, I think every round 2 matchup, the higher seed lost their game 1 at home. Boston lost game 1 at home. Cleveland lost game 1 and 2 at home. OKC lost game 1 at home. And yeah, Minnesota lost game 1 at home. So yeah, all the higher seeds blew their home court advantage in game 1, which is shocking to say the least, but also I think makes for some really fun playoff series here. But I do think, again, similar to how Boston tonight, another team where like you cannot go to Denver down 0-2. I think the Thunder are the team that could possibly be okay with it. Like they're so talented that I think they could overcome it. But you really don't want to go down to Denver down 0-2 with the players they have. So really important game. Got to take advantage of that home court advantage. So I think SGA has a big game tonight in game 2 for the Thunder. Guys, that is it for me today. Thank you very much, as always, for watching one more time. Please make sure to go ahead and hit the subscribe button, hit that like button, and drop a comment down below. We'll be back tomorrow with another NBA player prop video. But until then, guys, I hope you're all winners. Enjoy your Wednesday, and let's go ahead and make some money.